Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Lewis Speaks 2024, and here's a bit of a truth bomb. As you age, people forget all about you. People treat you like you're invisible, they dismiss you, they overlook you, and the truth is, it's up to you to always remember yourself. In every conversation lately that I encounter with people, I have always got to interject my own life into the conversation because waiting for them to ask me anything about myself, I'd be waiting till hell freezes over. Um, Sadly, we live in a strange world where when you get to be a certain age, people think that you no longer have needs. People see you as self sufficient and they think that you are impervious to certain things like loneliness or sadness. They don't think you're human at a certain age. They think that you are invincible, that because you are of a certain age, you should know how to deal with certain difficult feelings. They don't leave space for things like adjustment issues. Um, they don't leave space for your feelings, your experience. They just expect you to know how to navigate certain things. And the funny thing is, as you age, certain things start not to work like they once did. There's a certain decline that happens. And so you're going to need that care, that investment, that kindness. And a lot of people feel like, well, since you're this age, you don't need that anymore. You don't require that. And that's unfortunately that's a mistake, because I think that as you get to be a certain age, you need more care. You start to realize that certain family members go, friends go, you start to lose certain things. And that's when you need people the most. And oftentimes, that's when people abandon you. It's unfortunate. I see so many older ones nowadays, like just on Central Avenue where I live. There's a place called Central Avenue, a street. And you see all these old heads just lined outside of their apartment complex, just waiting for anything to happen, just waiting for something to talk about, someone to walk by, something that will give their life some form of meaning. And it's unfortunate that it has to be this way. Nobody asks them how they're doing. Nobody asks them if they need anything. People just walk by them as though they're just invisible. And it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. Like, I see why older ones get angry. I think they get angry just to say, I'm here. Their anger is just a way of saying that I exist. World, see me. I'm here. And it just feels as though the squeaky wheel gets the grease. So this is why they yell. This is why they get irritable. This is why they get angry. Also, they get angry because they're grieving a lot of losses. A lot of things have been taken away. Not only family members and friends, but also certain functions. Their ability to see, their ability to hear, their ability to walk. So this is why they're mad as hell. And I get it. I get why they're angry. While it's not advisable, it's definitely understandable. And I think that a lot of times they're not getting the care that they need. And it's kind of like a child. When you don't give a child the care that it needs, the child tantrums, it cries, it gets angry because it's not getting the care that it needs. And truth be told, we are all God's children. And while we do have a certain maturity and ability to self-soothe and manage our own emotions and regulate our own emotions, I think as you age, you just lose your patience and you lose your tolerance, and you just feel as though there's no reason why someone should not be caring about you. There's no reason why people don't, so you get pissed. You get pissed because you want to be seen, you know? And when you think about anger, anger is a secondary emotion. The primary emotion is sadness. And so anger, the primary emotion is grief also. So anger is an offshoot to that. And I feel for older ones. I seriously do. I feel for all people in this world. I just feel for them all because we all got a rough, children, adolescents, early adults, middle-aged adults. Everybody got something going on. Everybody got something going on. And it's just crazy, you know? And what inspired this topic today, I'm realizing that as I even mature, I realize that people don't really hold space the way that I need them to. They don't seem to hold space. Everybody's so distracted. I was talking to somebody today. They were sitting there just daydreaming, looking around, looking around. I'm like, hello, can we stay focused here? But it's like you always have to reprimand somebody in a conversation these days. And this is why a lot of people are doing things solo and going their own way and just being alone, because sometimes when you're with people, it still feels like you're alone. It still feels like there's no genuine connection. You feel as though they're in la la land and you're just like, hello, hello, are you there? Are you with me? Are we here? You keep on trying to build a connection with somebody and it's just not connecting, and it's frustrating. It's frustrating. And so this is why people are opting to go their own way, because it's ridiculous out here. And so dealing with that conversation, I felt invisible. And then I got a glimpse into how it might feel to be, I would say, late 60s, early 70s. The older population must feel real invisible. And the only time they are seen is when they're acting rambunctious, if they're angry. That's the only time they get some care. And it's like the only time, even as young adults sometimes, the only time you get some attention and some care is if you're yelling, screaming at the top of your lungs. But when you're calm and you're chill, people think, oh, you good. You good. But there are some people who are silent warriors. They fight private wars within themselves. And they don't always let people know what's going on the surface. But they fight these wars, and sometimes they have a form of battle fatigue, They have a form of battle fatigue where they're just tired of fighting these silent wars alone. And also there's a term that I heard, it's called battle hardening. It's when people have fought so much in their lives to the point where they're just hard and their exterior is very rough. It's because they've had to build those thick skins because of the wars they've had to fight in life. And they're not bad people. They're just a little rough around the edges because of everything that they've been through. And so they're battle hardened. And a lot of times these people need the most care, but oftentimes they get the least. And it's unfortunate. It really is unfortunate. And what is the cure? Simply asking someone how they're doing. How are you? And genuinely listening to the response. I realized that people don't really listen. I was talking to somebody, again, this was yesterday, and I asked them how they're doing. I listened to their response, and they asked me how I'm doing. I told them the truth. I was stressed. Oh, that's good. That's good. They were so used to just providing that stock phrase, they didn't really hear what I told them. And so I'm just like, okay, right now we have a crisis of connection. That's what we're going through right now. There's a crisis of connection. People are so disconnected, not only from themselves, but also from everyone else, to the point where they're just operating on autopilot, to the point where they're just saying some stock phrase that they have memorized. Oh, you're fine? That's good. That's wonderful. We say the same thing. How are you? I'm fine. That's good. It's always the same thing. We don't really stop and listen to what somebody is really telling us. And I think that's what needs to happen. Even with the older generation, let them tell their stories. Half the time they live in the land of memories. That's all they have left. Some have memories left. Others are still clinging on to the little bit of memories they do have left. Um, but yeah, let people tell their story. And I think this is why people like me, which angers me to a certain degree because it feels as though I'm just being treated like a sounding board. But I digress. People like me because I listen to them. I listen and I'm genuinely curious about them. And that's the part that they really love. They love that part. And my thing is, you can't fake that. Because the truth is, I am genuinely curious about people. I do want to know, but what I don't want is to be used as a sounding board and typecast in that role. Because wait a minute, if I'm listening to you and you're not listening to me, Whitney Houston, we got a problem. Can't go for that. It got to be mutual listening. So I enjoy conversations like that where there's a mutuality. But when there's me just listening, people dumping, venting, I don't like those conversations. Those conversations can be thrown in the trash because I can't get with that. That's not, So I think that really genuinely listening to somebody, asking them how they're doing, that makes them feel seen. When was the last time somebody asked you how you're doing? Like, how are you? And I throw this out to y'all in YouTube land. How are you doing? And if you want to reply, please reply. How are you doing? Genuinely. I think a lot of people are struggling right now, and a lot of people are on the struggle bus. You know, they're trying to hang in there. And I think a lot of people are afraid to ask that question because then you'll tell them. And then they'll feel inclined to do something about it. They feel like I have to do something. And sometimes you don't have to do anything. All you have to do is be a presence. And right now, you know, I don't have the energy to do anything. If you tell me you're sad, I feel you. Trust and believe. But right now, I don't have the capacity to do anything about people. And I think that's why also people are reluctant because they just don't have the capacity to do anything about other people's feelings. I don't know how to help you in a way that won't compromise some part of myself. And that's what people are feeling also. I don't know how to help you in a way that makes me, or in a way that won't compromise some portion of my life. You know, I think right now we need to go to God because he's the only one that can help us, because human beings, we just are too overtaxed to be of any good to anybody. And of course we can provide some assistance, but I don't know about y'all, but lately it just feels as though everybody needs too much. They need too much, and we just don't have that much to give. We just don't have that much to give. And so we need a higher power. We need a source that has an infinite and abundance to give. Because right now I think humanity is just in the red. We're overtaxed. We're tired. We need a break. We need a universal global vacation. If someone drafts it up, I'll sign it. I'll sign it in blood because we need vacations. We're tired. People are not really vacating when they go on vacation because there's more stress. There's more airport stress and people fighting in airports and baggage loss and all this drama, you know? So you need a vacation from your vacation. So we really just need a break. Sometimes my heart is heavy because this world is just so much. It needs so much, and you wish that you could just snap your fingers and the world is just a better place. It's just not right now. And I think that eventually it will become a better place, but not right now. But I think the least we could do is ask each other how we are feeling. You know, how are you feeling? Are you all right? What do you think will get you to a place where you do feel all right? Where you do feel some level of peace. Total peace is an illusion in this system of things, but what will help you get to that level of peace today? All we can focus on is today. And I encourage you to ask yourself that question, because a lot of times people won't ask you that question. You have to love yourself enough to ask yourself these questions. How was my day? What will get me to a level of peace and calm? What can I do to celebrate myself? These are the questions that you need to ask you, because waiting on other people to ask you about you, it'll never happen. So, for those who are aging, trust. I feel you. I feel you. I know it's rough. I know it's rough, but you have to first see yourself if you want to be seen, because sometimes you may very well be the only person that sees you. You may very well be the only person that sees you. And so you have to make sure that you are seeing yourself, really seeing yourself. See and look into your reflection and really just recognize the beauty of your breath, the beauty of your life, the beauty of your presence, because you may very well be the only gift that you get in this life. And you have to celebrate that, because waiting on other people to acknowledge, to recognize, to support you, you'll be in a casket. So, just some words I want to put out there, y'all. And just know I do care. Once again, in the comments, let me know how you're doing. Thanks again. Peace.